think it perhaps stems from my childhood. Even though I was sort of, I think I was reassured by my parents that, I was sort of nice and intelligent and so on. I think that I remember a lot of incidents when we were expected to sort of hold back as children. We couldn't express ourselves. Sorry, I'm getting... I remember, for instance, going out with my parents and some friends of theirs, and with their children. We went out to dinner, and I was about 10 years old. And I'd been taught that, sort of children aren't particularly amusing to a company of adults at dinner, and I expected to remain, I thought I was expected to remain quiet, and just be polite and so on. And yet, my parents' friend's child was encouraged to kind of chatter, and it was mindless chatter, and I actually thought, I could see that I was, if I had chosen to talk, I was actually more intelligent than this child, or perhaps funnier, but I had it sort of drummed into me that, you didn't express yourself. And I don't know what I inferred from that. I don't know whether I inferred that my parents thought I was, had less worthwhile qualities than their friends' children, but in some way I remember those incidents so strongly.
I mean, my parents were never the type of parents that actually said, you have to do well and well in this because we think you should go on and do X, Y or Z. It was never like that. In fact, it was the opposite, which I suppose I felt quite resentful about, in that they would leave me to make my decision and say, you do whatever you want to do, whatever makes you happy. And I suppose I was resentful of the fact that I had no guidance, and that it was very much left up to me.
I think they were terribly aware that, that it was wrong to push your children. So we were always told, that if we wanted to go and, work in Woolworths, whatever, we could. It wouldn't be minded. But obviously I knew that the expectation was there, that they would like us to go to university. They've been very supportive. They allowed me to go back and live with them. When I got to my lowest weight, I couldn't cope with living and working in London on my own, which I think is very hard for them because my father gets very jealous of my relationship with my mother, with whom I'm very close, and so it's very difficult for both of them. I think it puts a strain on their relationship when I go home. And one of the greatest reliefs of coming into hospital was that I was no longer putting a direct strain on them. Okay, it's probably still causing them some strain that I'm here, but I didn't feel I was doing it so directly. Although, in a way, anorexia, when it seems to take you over like some kind of monster. It's a situation, I could see the harm I was doing to my parents, how stressed they were by my illness. And it's something I would never in a million years have done to them. The two people I care most about in the world, I would never have done it to them in normal health. And yet my obsession with food was so important that, I could hurt them so badly and use it as an excuse.
Basically for me and my family to try and understand each other, not to try and actually go in and point the finger at anybody, which, as I said before, I think my parents certainly felt I might want to do that. It's given me the chance, I know, definitely, to be able to say things to them that some cases I don't think I even knew I wanted to say, and sometimes I didn't quite have the courage to say. And in here I've been given that chance, that possibility of actually saying something for myself, experimenting, taking that risk to behave in a different way, to see how they respond to that change in me.